Mayor of London Sadiq Khan was quizzed on whether he was scaremongering, following his claims that criminals want the UK to leave the EU under a no-deal Brexit. Prime Minister Boris Johnson is currently facing threats from pro-EU MPs within his own party, who have hinted they could vote against him in a potential no-confidence vote to try to block a no-deal Brexit. Sadiq Khan warned no deal would be catastrophic for the UK, claiming it would be less safe and Britain won't have access to fresh fruit and vegetables. Speaking at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival event Ian Dale, all talk at a gilded balloon, the Mayor of London said, "The consequences are going to be catastrophic if we leave the European Union without any deal whatsoever. I have regular meetings with the most senior officers in the country. Do you know on a daily basis we share DNA information with our colleagues in Europe. We have a fast-track extradition from our colleagues in the European Union. When passengers come on European planes and ferries we share the passengers list, wanted list, previous convictions list. So we're going to be less safe if we leave the European Union with no deal whatsoever. So if you're a criminal, what do you want? You want us to leave without any deal whatsoever. When it comes to the medicines we've got in the NHS, there's only a finite amount of medicines we've got over a short period of time. When Matt Hancock talks about us being the biggest purchasers of fridges in the world, that shouldn't be a source of pride. That should really trouble us. We've got a situation at a time where Christmas is literally going to be 8 weeks away. We won't have access to fresh fruit, fresh veg and fresh produce." Hosty and Dale interjected. "That's scaremongering though, isn't it? You can't say we won't have access to it," Mr. Khan replied. The former head of Sainsbury's 2 nights ago did an interview and he said we've got enough food for roughly speaking 10 days. Fresh fruit, fresh produce, fresh veg. After 10 days you'll have fewer things available on the shelves in supermarkets. So people like you and me who are middle class and earn a decent package, we can afford to buy the stuff we're going to buy. But if you're somebody who relies on food banks, if you're somebody who needs access to fresh fruit and veg for a variety of reasons, if you live in a part of the country where the shops might not sell this stuff, it's a problem." And since taking over as Prime Minister, Mr. Johnson has repeatedly demanded the backstop mechanism within the withdrawal agreement is rejected, to allow Brexit talks with the EU to resume. But so far, there has been zero movement from the bloc. Speaking to reporters during a visit to a science centre in Abingdon, Mr. Johnson said, "We are going to leave the European Union on the 31st of October, which is what the people of this country voted for. It's what MPs voted for. And that's what I think parliamentarians of this country should get on and do. I think that MPs should get on and deliver on what they have promised over and over and over again to the people of this country. They will deliver on the mandate of 2016 and leave the EU on the 31st of October. Despite facing threats from pro-EU MPs within his own party, Mr. Johnson's team are confident the UK would be able to leave the EU on the 31st of October, even if they lost a no-confidence vote. His team also believe they will potentially be able to push a future general election until after Britain has already left the bloc. Rebels have hinted under the Fixed Term Parliaments Act, if the government lost a vote of no confidence, MPs could seek to put a new government of national unity in its place, before going to the EU to ask for a further Brexit extension.